Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Sinikas, and I'm the founder of Startpreneurs TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, and the creator of Coral Desk. My mission is to empower through education. And I want to congratulate you because today, by showing up here, you are investing in your personal growth. I have the honor to talk with someone from Singapore today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Rafiya Sultana. She is a motivational keynote speaker, award-winning trainer, and performance coach. So, who is Rafiya? Tell us your story and why are you doing what you're doing?
Hello, Rane. Thank you so much for such a great introduction of mine. Hello, everyone. Who is Rafiya is such a big question. To make short, Rafiya is a blessed mother and a grateful messenger. Blessed mother because I'm a mother of 9 years old daughter. She contributes to my personality and to be who I am as speaker, trainer, and coach, helping others to live an abundant and purposeful life. And being a grateful messenger, it's a long story because being a speaker was not a part of my plan. It's a result of my journey of transformation at some point of time when I had a life-changing event. After that, I had my journey of self-discovery and self-mastery. Then I became a speaker to spread my message. So just to share a tiny tale about my story, why I'm doing what I'm doing is to tell you, I need to take you to my childhood, and before that, 5 years, almost 8 years back, I was sitting in a complete darkness on the window of my living room. One of my legs hanging outside the window, and the another leg hanging inside my room. There was a four-story drop to the ground below. What I was doing sitting there, to answer this question, I need to take you back to my childhood. I was born in India in a small town in a conservative community. In those days, as a girl, in this environment, the only expectation is to learn to be an obedient daughter, a good wife, and a mother. I had no choice to learn from my school and then my school and homework due to cultural restrictions and our family financial situation, as we could not afford to have a TV or a computer. But I was hungry for knowledge, always looking for opportunities to find newspapers and books from my friends, relatives, and neighbors. My mother has been so dinner for the family of seven and always worked hard to put meals on table for survival. One morning, when I was 6 years old, I found a torn newspaper that my mother brought from my neighbors. And right there, I found my dream. What was there on that paper? Two magical things that I saw for the first time in my life. The first Indian women in space. It was mind blowing for me at that time to think not only of a human being going to space, but secondly, a woman. In my environment, space was something that women were meant to keep clean, not flying to a spaceship. That moment was the birth of my childhood dream to be an astronaut. And so I dedicated my life turning that dream into a reality. I read every book, article I could find. I did experiments at home with broken plastic bottles, newspapers, cotton, and old fabric. I worked hard to pursue and continue my education. And this hard work translated into grades good enough that I won scholarships. And eventually, despite our circumstances, I became the first girl in our family to complete university degree in engineering. After my degree, I began my career as an aeronautical engineer in an organization. Everything I did, I hoped would bring me closer to my dream of being an astronaut. My mother has been a great inspiration throughout this journey. She herself was not educated, but to me, she was a visionary leader who raised her three daughters with respect, dignity, human values, and education. Me, along with my sisters, were well respected in our community because of these values. But not long after my graduation, cultural expectations and the pressure to get married became very strong. I understood that we cannot afford to continue my education, and this pressure from the society led me to take the tough decision to give up on my dream of being an astronaut. So I became a wife and a mother, and I was responsible in my duties as both. but only my body was there. My soul, my heart was struggling every minute. I felt like my life has been taken from me. I felt as though this change was completely beyond my control and it was so unfair. I was frustrated, angry, helpless. I gained weight and I lost my confidence. However, I thought I will survive this. But day by day, it was slowly crushing my soul, and I just could not completely accept and adapt to this massive change in my life. I did not share my pain with anyone, and that pain gradually increased to a point after 2 years that I wanted to end this pain forever. I lost hope and the desire to continue. That's when I decided to jump out of the window, as all my aspirations are drowned in the deep darkness of my helpless situation. Thankfully, I was saved from that attempt by my husband, who came to check on me. Quickly, he pulled me back. Fast forward 10 years on from that day until today, I'm in a much better place now. I have a loving family whom I adore and they adore me. And I have built a career as a coach and a speaker where I now help others live an abundant and purposeful life. I managed to take control and change my life, and I am very content and at peace. That's where I started my journey of self discovery and self mastery. So, how did I make this change? I did this through gaining an astronaut perspective. You see, astronauts get to see the world from an entirely different point of view. They have the opportunity to break free from their current environment here on Earth and fly far into space. Then they can turn and look at Earth from a completely different perspective. My, what a view that would be. I'm not an astronaut. I did not live my dream of being an astronaut. But through my journey of transformation, I realized that it is possible to gain an astronaut's perspective without traveling to space. You see, the key to my transformation is my ability to pull myself out of the current situation. I have learned that we cannot see the full picture until we can step outside the frame of negativity, and we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we created them, as Einstein quotes. So this to me is the astronaut's perspective, and I want to share with you today that how we can gain an astronaut's perspective, and so that you can step outside your current world and look back at it from a different viewpoint. So you can stop seeing just the problems and start finding the possibilities. So I can promise you that to gain an astronaut's perspective, you need not to fly into space. You can find it by wherever you are in your life, from whichever point you are get started. So to me, that is perspective. So that is the reason to be a speaker, trainer, and coach and helping others. My journey of transformation teach me many lessons. So now I'm teaching those lessons to someone who are exactly in my situation.
Beautiful. So, as you as a leadership coach, what do you see the people that are approaching you? What are the common challenges that they have, whether they are entrepreneurs or whether they are people that need that transformation? So what do you see today, and how do you help those people?
As I said, by applying an astronaut's perspective, actually, an astronaut's perspective is actually, it's also the methodology that I use in my work as a coach and trainer. And whenever I'm speaking on stage, of course, it's a tiny part that I can explain when I'm on stage. But as a coach, this is the methodology I apply. As per this methodology, it is nothing but stepping out of the frame. It goes in 3 steps. So having a clarity. So most of the even the entrepreneurs and leaders these days, they have some business, but before starting their business, if they are not having the clarity of what vision and mission, and they continue doing it, they fail. Of course we do fail, we have to fail, but the more clarity we have, the more easy it is for us as an entrepreneurs, and even for leaders who are in leadership roles in organizations. Whenever I work with them, so I help them to get that clarity of the vision and mission, and also to bring that confidence to master their craft. So whatever service that they want to offer, so that confidence comes only when they know their stuff. When they have the once they have the clarity, then they have to master their craft. If they have and that happens only when they successfully overcome their limiting beliefs and their blind spots that they could not see at times. So maybe as a I usually help gain confidence to master their craft by removing their blockers in their path of success. And the third step comes as courage. Like, as we know, success is not a straight line. It is we have to go through that grind, and we need to fail many times to learn the lessons and achieve our goals in future, especially when you are in the beginning stage of your entrepreneurship or your work as a leader. And even while marketing and branding, even we spend a lot of amount sometimes, but still we could not see the result, because this is the reason. And at times we see people tend to give up so soon. So so I help them to build that courage, to create that to build that emotional resilience, to get that courage to face fears and failures and rejections, and move forward by helping them creating a support system to maintain their mental and emotional health when they have to face these rejections during crisis, during change. Yeah, so these are the 3 steps that I help with.
Okay. And how do you help leaders and teams to drive their performance?
Uh, Again, it's all about an astronaut's perspective. As I said, again, it goes in 3 steps. One is clarity, to helping them to align their vision. First of all, to have the clarity, and once they have the clarity, if they are working with any organization, I help them to make sure to align their mission and vision with the organization's mission and vision, so that they can stay motivated throughout their journey of as a leader working with the organization. And the next step comes as confidence, because as we know, like confidence, there are many people who know their stuff, but if they don't have the confidence, if they don't have this communications, it's not communication, I think it is connecting at a human level will definitely help them to bring that confidence, and that indeed will help them to grow in their professional in their professional and personal life. So in professional life, it will help they gain that confidence by getting rid of these limiting beliefs and all these these communication issues, when if they have any hesitation while sharing their ideas or concerns with their peers, subordinates, or even their seniors. I help that part. That's the second part. The third one is resilient during tough times, how they can be resilient, how they can be emotionally and mentally fit, so that they can quickly bounce back. So I have this whole mechanism of an astronaut's perspective, where we create a support system for them to be mentally and emotionally healthy, to face the fears and rejections and quickly bounce back and continue their journey of leadership. And the biggest challenge for them is acceptance. Mostly leaders, the leaders, what I can see is, like, as coaches and professionals, we need to deal with the people from different backgrounds, because not everyone are same. Everyone have got a different personality, and we need to adjust our style of helping them based on their personality level. So I think I specialize more in that, because I have got a track record of connecting with the people at a human level. So that's what helps me to be a good coach or a trainer.
So you just mentioned 2 terms, coach and the trainer. What is the difference of a coach, and what is the difference of a trainer? Who is a coach and who is a trainer?
Coaching is mostly like it's hand to hand, like I'm holding their hand at each and every step, mostly one on one. Sometimes it could be group coaching also, depending on the requirement. So if they have certain goals, and I'll give you an example, if they have certain goals and they have some blind spots that they could not see as leaders, then if they come to me, then I'll give them a mechanism through which they can find their own blind spots. I'm not giving the solution, but they will get the clarity to find their own solution. So that's I do with one on one or in a group, so that I call as a team coaching or executive coaching. Besides, training is like in a workshop format. It's like either it will be 1 full day or 2 full day training based on the requirement and the intensity of the problem that they're facing at that point of time. So I have fixed programs, like let's say if it is coaching, I call it as a growth accelerator program, and it's not overnight. It takes time to first of all to get to understand the personality of the leader and create the whole mechanism of course I apply my an astronaut's perspective, that's standard, but I change the style how to apply for that particular personality. So it's overnight. It'll be like 6 months, sometimes even a year, depending on how quickly they can apply and get the results, desired results. So training is nothing but it's like workshops. We deliver sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours, half day, 1 full day or 2 full days. So it depends on the requirement. So I have my training program. Again, it's a perspectives to performance. And this growth accelerator program and perspectives to performance, they fall under the umbrella of an astronaut's perspective. That to me is training and coaching.
Okay. Who has been the mentors in your life, and what has been the greatest learning that you have received from them?
I'm so blessed to get the mentors in my life because first of all, I'm living in a place like Singapore where like we have got great speakers, and I'm also a part of one of the Speakers Association, APSS, Asia Professional Speakers in Singapore, and where I got the opportunity to meet one of the popular and famous speakers in Singapore, and I learned a lot from them. Besides, for my business, I have a mentor. So there are primary lessons that I learned is that if you have got your skill and if you know what you're doing with clarity and conviction, you can improve. But before before we step into before we step into our game of entrepreneurship or speaking or training or coaching, we must have the clarity. That's the first thing I understood. And second thing is like perfection is not needed. I think purpose matters more than perfection. As long as we are striving for perfection to perfect everything that day happen, we just need to put ourselves out there to start somewhere, and eventually we find our path, and we can see the path with much more clarity. That's one of the lesson. And there are, I think if I think this today's interview is not enough. There are many lessons that I learned, but I am writing all those in my book Perspective Matters, which is upcoming book.
What will future bring to you as a coach and as an author?
Living my purpose and leaving my legacy behind.
So, and what is your legacy?
My legacy will be to be the contributor of finding human peace, so that I can help them live, not only live an abundant and purposeful life, because be inclusive. I can help someone, they can help few more people. So helping them finding their purpose, helping them find the clarity about their purpose. So that will be my legacy. So as many people I impacted, because I have this goal of 1 million. It's still going on. So I did not reach that goal yet. Directly, indirectly, I'm impacting people through my speaking and training and coaching. So that will be my purpose, to impact as many people as people, uh, helping them to find human peace. I do that by helping them to change their mindset, changing their perspectives, so that they can live their life with more clarity, courage, and confidence.
What are your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade?
Amazing. This is also a part of my learning journey from my mentors, and failing many times. I'm failing many times than what I want in my life. So I can divide it into 3 things. So one is empathy. Empathy is the primary thing you need to have, because to me, I feel empathy helps you to water the seeds of negativity in your mind. So let's say if you are uh, if you are having the responsibility, or if you're willing to take the responsibility to help the other person, you can do that only when you have an empathy. You will do everything it takes to help them. That way you're trying to solutions. So your mind is able to find solutions for others. Eventually we are getting better in this journey, which will help you to water the seeds of creativity. And creativity is the primary requisite to grow in your career, or in your professional life, or in your personal life. So I feel empathy is one of the things. Second is gratitude. To excel in our life, I feel we need to practice stillness and silence. That comes only when we are maintaining that stillness during our lowest points of our life, which is not so easy every time. Through my journey, I learned this eventually, that mastering a silence, mastering a stillness is like not being so confident or overconfident for your achievements, or not being so low for your rejections, but staying in between. So I think gratitude helps you to be in that state of mind, because you're consistently in a state of positivity when you practice gratitude, which is again helps you to the growth, contributes for your growth, holistic growth, which eventually helps for your professional personal growth as well. Third, I will say, is forgiveness. Forgiveness is amazing tool. It helps to raise beyond your ego. Even if we learn from the biographies or the top in this world, who have been highly successful, who have been the long players, if we see, they have practiced this art of mastering their ego, which is equally important. Once we master this ego, uh, we can forgive anything and everyone in our life, which will consistently keeps us productive. So I feel these three are the important aspects. If we can master, we can dominate the decade.
If someone wants to follow you, if someone wants to contact you, how they can do so?
Uh, my email is Rafiya Sultan, neuroexcel at rafiyasultana.com. Anyhow, I'm leaving a link below. You can it's my LinkedIn. You can connect through my LinkedIn. You can connect through my Facebook, and you can also, if you want to contact, you can personally email me to neuroexcel at Rafiya Sultana, RAFIYASULTANA.com. So this is my email ID. You can email me if you have any personal questions, or if you want to connect with me. I'll be happy to help you.
So what would be the final message to everybody that took time today to listen to this interview?
My final message is it's one of my lessons that I learned: change your perspectives to turn every change in your life into an opportunity for growth. This is one of my quote.
Thank you. I want to thank you who you took time today to listen to Rafiya's story. Obviously, there's a lot of diversity. There is a lot of cultural background to what she's doing and why she's doing, and it should be a great motivation also for you if you are living in a foreign country. And I think there's a lot of people who can feel the similarity and feel the highs and lows as she has done. But the key point to take from here is that you can decide today whether you are a victim or whether you are someone who takes the responsibility for your own life and change it for the way that you want to live. So you can become the hero of your own life. As Rafiya stated, don't wait for the perfect plan, which will most probably never arrive, but just get yourself going. So speed of implementation and taking action is one step closer to the life that you definitely deserve. But you can be also the hero in someone else's life. How? By sharing this video. We never know when there's a person who is sitting today at this window and thinking whether to jump or not. So be the hero of that person, send the video, and hopefully that video will stop her or him for jumping out of the window. We do hope that it will help you to jump higher and longer, but not down to the darkness. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I will see you in our next episode. Rafiya, thank you very much for investing your time in our audience, and wishing you all the best. You are on mute.
I'm on mute.
Yeah, now you're fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Rani, for inviting me. And it's my pleasure to be here and to get the opportunity to share my journey. Just with the hope that it can help someone somewhere out there in this world who is going through the same kind of pain. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time to listen to me. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.